Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm working in my art travel journal set. If you remember from my unboxing video, I actually sliced through the leather with my knife. The line is just there. It starts just there. And you can only just barely see it. So I think it's repairing itself. I watched a couple of videos on how to repair scars in leather, and it suggested just water and some heat. I've only used water so far. I haven't tried the heat because I feel like it's disappearing on its own. Let me tell you, it was a heart-stopping moment when I realised what I'd done. So this is my first time in here, and what I want to do today actually is just get to know this sketchbook. So I've got the paints that Helen provided with the kit, and I've got my other paints as well, and I thought I would just swatch everything just to see what they look like in this particular book. So I'm going to put this beautiful thing to the side, and that's what we'll get started on. Okay, so I've pulled out everything that I want to swatch. I think that's all of it. I do have two other acrylic paints, but they're pretty cheap ones. I think I'll avoid them today. I'm just going to stick with these. So I have my notebook. I have the Coliro Pearl Colors in gold and silver. I have my Paul Rubens 24 palette set. I've got my vintage pastels, which are Prima Marketing. I have another Paul Rubens set here. That this is the pearl or metallic colors, and then I have the Atelier pastel range. I think there's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then on top of that, I have the black, white, and brilliant magenta. So tons to swatch. So we better get started. So I think I will start with the vintage pastels that have come with the kit, with the notebook. I guess the one I'm most intrigued by is the acrylics, because I've never really done much with acrylics before. So keen to see how they're going to look as well, but we'll probably do those last. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so if you haven't seen these yet, these are the vintage pastels from Prima Marketing. It says Artist Quality Watercolor Pan Sets, and it's a cute little set, very similar to my Paul Rubens one, and it has these beautiful little palettes, little half pans I should say, that I have actually not yet wrapped, so I'd better do that first before we get started. Okay, so I've prepped my paints with just a little droplet of water. I just have a little glass dropper here that my friend Denise gave me, and I've just put one drop into each. They're just so beautiful, and they're really beautifully packaged. You know, these gorgeous little labels. I'm going to pop those in my swatch book. So let's prep the journal. I might have to put some stickers on the front, I think, just to liven it up a little. I'll take all these bits out of there for now. And I will decorate the front, but I think I might do all that in a different video. I think for today, I really want to just swatch, and I'm going to do that at the back. I'm going to, let's see. Yeah, I'll do it on this spread here. So the little palette came with this gorgeous little card as well, and it actually has the names of the colours as well. So I'm going to swatch on both just so that I have the reference in the tin, but first of all I'm going to dive in and make a start on the actual journal page. Okay, so I've just gone in and written all the all the names of the colours with my Kaweco Sport, and I reckon we're ready to dive in. So let's do that. Oh, it's always a bit nerve-wracking, but at least I've already started by writing in the journal, in the sketchbook, so it's not quite as daunting. Alright, let's go with the periwinkle. What a beautiful blue colour that is. I'll just add some water to wash that out. and just see what kind of a wash we get. That's a very pretty colour, and it's also quite, you know, it's not granulating actually, it's just sitting on the page. Alright, let's move to Sage. Oh, actually, no, let's do my little swatch card while I'm at it. Just a little swatch of colour on these ones, I think. Okay, onto Sage. Wow, that's a pretty colour, isn't it? Alright, I'll just get some water in there to wash it out a little. Yeah, that's lovely. Okay, next up we have Golden Glow. Remember, these are vintage pastels, so they are meant to be a light wash of colour. Wow, they are really lovely. I've bought so many pastel things lately. I mean, it is my thing. I do love my pastels. I'll wash that out to the end. Just load up the front with a bit more colour. Oh, they're beautiful. Alright, our next colour is Terracotta. It's a lovely looking colour in the pan. Yeah, so you can see it's a very soft terracotta. Really lovely. It needs some water there. Yeah, that's beautiful. Alright, so next up we have Suede. I'm very intrigued as to what this colour looks like. It's a little bit green, a little bit brown. Oh yes, lovely. And we'll wash that out as well. And then we have Charcoal. I'm intrigued to see this one actually because, you know, charcoal is typically quite dark. Okay, so we have a nice, oh yeah, that's nice. Sorry, it's not charcoal, it's stone grey. I'm looking at the word underneath instead of the one above. So this is stone grey. And what I might do, I think, is just lift a bit of this up so you can see the real colour underneath. I might do that here as well with this Suede. Alright, next up we have Breezy. Let's see how Breezy looks on here. Oh, that's nice. It's almost, I don't know if you'd say that's kind of almost a minty blue, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's wash it and see. Lovely. And then we have our soft lilac. I feel like these last colours in particular are going to be my colours. Okay, now we have Charcoal. This does look very black. Yeah, completely. Wow, that is a great black. Look at that. Wow. Alright, let's wash this a little as best we can. Okay, that's filled in fairly heavily. I'll see if I can pull some out just to be able to see that colour. Yeah, that's fabulous. Alright, I feel like this is going to be my colour, these last three in particular. But this one is called Dark Rose. Oh yeah, look at that. It's a really kind of dusky rose colour. Beautiful. And if we just pull that out, you can see that beautiful wash there. Oh, they're so pretty. Yes, I'm very happy. Okay, now we have our Apple Blossom. Oh, look at that. It's like almost a shell pink. Oh, I love it. And we'll just, again, wash that out. Gorgeous. And lastly, we have Dusky Mauve. Now, this is probably my other favorite color, I suspect. Let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah, that purple grey. I just love the purple grey. It's such a beautiful color. Okay, there's our swatches done for the Prima Marketing colors. They're still drying, of course. The top, well, I think the Periwinkle is probably the only one that's actually dried, and you can see them here on my little swatch card as well. Just super stunning. Okay, so while they're drying, I'm just going to move these out of the way so that they can dry before I close the palette up. While they're drying, we've got a little bit of space here. I wonder if some of these would fit, or if I should maybe just move. I feel like I should just move to the other page, and I might save the bottom for something else. I don't know. I don't even know what at this point. So I will prep these. So I'll prep these with a bit of water, and we'll dive into these ones. Now I'm just going to see if I can find my other swatch chart that tells me the colours. I have that here, so look how beautiful they are. Alright, so I'm going to write them in, and then we can get started swatching these. Okay, so we'll dive straight in with the Pearl Silver White. I have made a bit of an error with my naming, so it's going to be slightly out of order, but it really doesn't matter for the purposes of my swatching. So these are super shiny, as you could tell from the swatch I showed you earlier, but I'm going to, at the end, I'll bring it up to camera so you can see in closer detail. I think you can probably tell from some of them in particular that they're very shiny. So this one is called Flash Purple. There's no name there. I will have to fix that later, and it is out of order compared to my palette, unfortunately, but that's okay. I will make do. And this is a really lovely color because it has that purple and grey kind of quality together, which, I mean, I really like that combo. I think it's beautiful, and these colors just move to fill so nicely. I might just put a little bit more at the front there. We'll see how that dries. And then we have some very bright colors in here as well. So here's Deep Interference Orange. So deep. Such a lot of color. my swatches are getting a little out of hand. Okay, that's alright. Alright, we have Royal Gold. This is a very beautiful one as well. I absolutely love this color. Really lovely. So hopefully we'll be able to see that shine when that dries as well. Alright, then we have Flare Red, which is actually quite a nice pinky color, I think. It's a lighter pink. Yeah, look how pink that is. Gorgeous. Oh, I love this. These paints, like I said, move so nicely. Alright, next up we have Wine Red. And it's just kind of a browner pink, I guess, in my little opinion. Oh, there you go. It's quite deep when it's concentrated, of course. But when I spread it out now, well, yeah, it definitely looks brown, like a reddy brown in this, like I would almost call that terracotta. But in my swatch earlier, you can see it is almost pinky, this bottom one here. So let's see how it dries. Next up is a definite pink. We've got Rose Red. Oh, fabulous. Such a bright colour. And then when it has that sparkle in it as well, it's just gorgeous. Very messy swatch today. Did not mean to make it quite this messy, but that's okay, hey. Alright, Symphony Purple. This is like a royal purple almost. Still with that bit of kind of grey in it, like that top one. We should see the purple coming out in it. And it has a real sheen when it dries. I hope that shows up today on this paper. But I can really see the sheen on this one while it's drying. It's absolutely stunning. Alright, Deep Interference Blue. It is such a beautiful blue. Like, gorgeous. So you can see that nice shift there. It's just beautiful. Alright, Shiny Blue is next. And it has that almost turquoise look to it, but on the bluer side of turquoise. Oh, and it's very shiny. So these are going to be beautiful layered over things. I don't know if I've talked about what I'm going to use this journal for, this sketchbook. Actually, I don't even know what I'm going to use it for, but I wanted to maybe do some art journaling in it. I'm only just thinking about it last night. I'm not sure if the pages, if it's going to get too chunky, you know. Maybe I can remove some pages if I have to, but I'm not sure it's the right book for an art journal. I think any book is okay, actually, but that's what I'm going to start anyway. You know, with collage as well. You know, I like my collage journaling, so and just playing, you know, practicing stuff. I'd like to really get better at this, so I'm happy to share my journey with you, because it's probably not going to be, you know, I'm learning as I go, so I'm not an expert by any means. But how pretty do those colours look? Let's just move this palette to the side, and I'm going to bring these up because I need you to see the shine. They're not dry by any means, but look how shiny they are. They're just gorgeous. I'm in love with the Paul Rubens colours, and also they're in those cute pink tins, which doesn't hurt, but look how pretty those colours are. Okay, here's our beautiful vintage pastels. Look at them. They're just gorgeous, and they're kind of obviously a matte version of the other pastels that I've got there. They're just so pretty. I love those bottom three. Those pink ones are gorgeous, and the breezy and soft light, all of them. I love all of them. They're so gorgeous. They are still drying, so they will look different again at the end. So we'll come back and take a look at those. So for now, I think I'm going to leave these to dry because I don't want to make a mess. And we'll come back and oh, actually, you know what? Let's do the pearls across the bottom here, and then we'll do the big pack of Paul Rubens on a separate page. Okay, here we go. I've got them all written, all the names written down in the book. I'll just add some water to each of these and we'll get swatching. Now, usually I only use these for splatter. I do some, you know, just like we all do, some splatter over the top of stuff. So I don't think I've ever swatched them, you know, out on paper. So let's see how they look. Now I think I've got them all in order, except I'm not sure about the first and the third. I think they're in order, as in I've got a little chart here that's a photograph, and actually now that I've wet them, yeah, I think I'm correct. So these are lovely, really, really lovely, and they're quite transparent or translucent. So I'll just kind of put a fair chunk of colour at the beginning, and then I'm not sure if that'll wash very well, but let's see. We'll see how it dries. I'm really not sure how it's going to go, because like I said, I haven't done any swatching with these before. So here's our Inca Gold, which is almost a coppery gold. Carry that out. Looks like I'm just going to have to let the colour move around the swatch. It's very moving. Alright, Arabic Gold. It's a very warm one. I love this process. It's so calming. Okay, next up we have Gold Pearl. That's lovely. It's kind of creamy. Oh, that's beautiful. Just deposit a bit more colour at the front. Alright, Moon Gold looks really lovely in the pan. I think I tend to use the Arabic Gold the most for splattering, or else the Gold Pearl, because they're quite bright golds when they're splattered and they really show up nicely. This is a pretty one. Okay, let's do a little wash. And I think you're really not going to see the true beauty of these until they've dried, like those Paul Rubens ones. Alright, lastly we have the Sterling Silver. This is probably not going to show up super brilliantly on white paper, but it definitely gives a nice splatter on top of other colours. So that's the Sterling Silver. I will put a bit more at the front so we can sort of see what that looks like when it dries. And that's it for the Coliro Pearl colours. So now I'm definitely going to have to let this page dry, and we'll move on to the big Paul Rubens set and all my acrylics, which I'm very excited about, shortly. So I will be back soon. Okay, here we go. It's been a couple of hours and these are now dry, like really dry. So here are our vintage pastels. Look how beautiful they are. They're so lovely. I just think they're gorgeous. They're kind of creamy and just beautiful. Here are our golds and silvers. Look at that shine. Just gorgeous. Even just the small wash has a nice sheen to it as well. And then here are the Paul Rubens Pearlescent colours, and they also have a beautiful shine to them, as you can see there. And they're very vibrant, vibrant pastel pearlescents. Really, really beautiful. So last thing to do is the Paul Rubens 48 pan colour set. So we'll start with our titanium white, and it's getting quite late in the day now. I think it's almost 5 p.m. Oh, it's 4:30. So I'm going to start losing the light soon. So I want to get this done before that happens. So there's our titanium white. Now some of these I haven't been able to read the swatches properly. So here is the swatches. Here are the swatches from previously. But some of the writing, the text, is incredibly difficult to read. So I haven't been able to get all of them, unfortunately. So I've got the numbers so I can look them up, you know, and understand what they really are. But at this point, some of them don't have the right name. They have the right names, but some of them don't have a complete name. But that will come. So we have permanent yellow. So these are very highly pigmented colours. They're really lovely colours. I've really enjoyed working with this. I've done a lot of playing with this set. I think it's lovely. I'm not sure I'm showing the wash very well with these ones, so I'll just see if I can get this next one a bit cleaner. So this is cadmium yellow. Look how bright that is. I might just leave it there and try to wash it with the remainder of the space. And then we have cadmium orange. So these are really heavily loaded colours. Next up is Permanent Yellow. So you can see the Permanent Lemon above it has a bit more of a green tinge to it than the Permanent Yellow does. I'll just wash him out. One thing about swatching videos is that they take a very long time to film because you have to wait for things to dry. Just painting in general, I guess, right? So now we have Indian Yellow, and we're starting to get a little bit more orange. Now this one is called Nickel Yellow. It's very brown in the pan. So let's see. Oh yeah, that has some yellow, definitely. And now we have Permanent Orange Red. Such a bold colour. You can definitely see the orange and the red in that colour. And then we have Cadmium Red Light. So I guess we should get a bit more red in this one. And then the last in these 12 is Chinese Red, and it looks quite red to me. Wow, it's a beautiful colour. You know, those Chinese envelopes, those lucky envelopes. Beautiful. Okay, and now the second 12. Alright, first up is Cadmium Red. Another bold red. Not quite as red as the Chinese one, but still pretty red. And now we're getting into my favourite colours, and you can tell because the pans are starting to be a bit lower in these next 5 or so. Okay, so here we have Scarlet, which is a fabulous red. Starting to get a little bit of pink in it. And now we have Rose Red, which is definitely pink. That is beautiful. I love that colour so much. Okay, now we have Madder Red, which is also a beautiful pink. Really, really lovely. I like this. It's going to be like a reference book for me for all of the colours. Especially with how they perform on this particular kind of sketchbook paper. Alright, this I think is my most used colour in this palette, and this is called Magenta. And if you know me, you know I like pinky lilacs, and this one washed out is definitely going to be, yeah, this pinky purple colour is my colour. It's my jam. I do love it so much. So I'm going to lift a bit of this just so we can see what it looks like when it's a bit lighter. Okay, and now Violet, which I think is going to be equally beautiful. Just has a bit more purple to it. My swatch is getting bigger at the bottom here. Okay, so that's the first, what have we got? 18 colours there. Now I'm going to move across to Permanent Violet. You can see how dark that is, full of pigment. And we will just stretch that out. I'm going to leave that big chunk of colour at the front. And now we'll go to Royal Purple and Cobalt Blue. This is going to be very bright blue. This next one is called France Ultramarine. I always expect an ultramarine to have a bit of a green tinge, but it doesn't really. I mean, Maybe when I spread it, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure this is very much blue. But now I think we start getting into the blue greens. This one is peacock blue. Yeah, so we can see it's starting to get that turquoise look about it. And then the last of this 12 is sky blue. And it's a very thick and creamy looking blue, this one. Okay, we start our next 12 with sea blue. That's lovely. And Prussian blue. I just love watching them move around. Beautiful. And now we have our Payne's grey. Yeah, that's lovely. I love those dark greys that have, you know, that really cool tone to them. Okay, and then we have an indigo. I feel like indigo is going to be beautiful. Wow, it's like ink. Oh, look at that. Still has a little hint of green, maybe. And now we move into our turquoise. So this is definitely a turquoise. This is turquoise light, and then next up is turquoise deep. Okay, let's draw this out. Take a good look. And that is lovely. Okay, now we have Malachite Green. This is a colour I used to use in the lab all the time for various tests we had to run. It was like an indicator dye. Very nice. And now our green deep. Now this was something green deep, whether it was permanent green or what, I can't read it on the swatch. I do have my glasses on, so I just think it's just not so great in terms of the printing of the names. Anyway, it's quite a lovely colour. Very similar to the malachite. Let's have a look at the unknown. It had something green in the title, but that's as far as I could get. I could not read beyond the word green. So you can, I believe you can get the colours off the website. I think there is a link to grab the colour names. So I'll do that if I get around to it. Now I have an olive green, definitely olivey. Don't you love the way it moves around the page? So cool. And tree green. And then lastly for this page is our permanent green, which is a very, I don't know, very bright green. Okay, I just have this last line of colours here to go through, and I've written those up on the next page, so they're just back this page over here behind, but we're still drying, so I'm obviously not going to do that today. Oh look, I love this one, just beautiful. These three across the bottom, these four here, and then these two purples, just my favorite colors, and then these ones through here as well. I just love those. Payne's grey, the turquoise, the indigo, and I don't know, those two look very similar to me. They look pretty similar in the pans as well, I have to say. So anyway, I'm going to let that dry, which means I really don't think it's going to be dry today. So that last layer, that last set of pans will have to be done another time. But for you, it'll be in just a moment. Alright, so I'll see you in a sec. Okay, we're back. Let's see, it's a week later. And let's see how these have come together. Okay, so we've got here our Prima Marketing Vintage Pastels, the Coliro Pearl Colours, the Paul Rubens Pearlescents, and I'm almost done with the Paul Rubens 48 pan watercolor set. So I've done, here's the set here. I've done this first row, the second row, and the third row. So it's just this last row to go. And I've got the names all out here for me, ready to go. So it's just a matter of diving in. I've got everything prepped here on my right. So I'm just going to go in with the yellow green. So it's been a long week. You know, I'm originally a Queenslander and we're supposed to not like daylight savings, but I really miss it because now I can't do anything in the evenings because it's too dark. I like to use natural light when I'm filming. This is very natural light today. It's one of those beautiful rainy days in Melbourne, very cold, and that makes for nice light for filming, nice and bright. Okay, so there's a yellow green. Next up we have a lemon sienna, and it's almost like a mustard yellow ochre kind of colour. It's quite nice actually. I'm a bit into those neutral kind of colours lately. I've never thought I would be, but those earthy colours really make me happy, although this is turning out to be quite yellow compared to how it looked when it first went down. Oh, okay, now's our yellow ochre. And now our maple yellow. I might need a bit more water in those pans, I think. Although it does make it a bit easier to do the washout. And now is raw umber. It's quite a granular paint. Let's see if we can just add a little more here. You can see it has those little granules in it. Hopefully you can see that there. Just bring the light down a little for us there. Okay, next is umber. This looks nice and reddy brown. And it has some of those granules floating around as well. So I see those colours being really nice for trees and things. Very earthy. Okay, this one's just called red brown. And it lives up to its name. And we're back to more smoother paint. And now Dyke Brown, which does look a bit darker. Oh, it has a slight green tinge to the brown, like green and black. Let's see how this washes. Maybe a little bit more water. Okay, next up we have burned sienna, which looks like a nice, just dark brown. Yeah, that's nice. Quite thick at this point because I probably should add a little more water to the palette, but I think we're okay. Cool. Okay, 3 to go for these watercolors. First up is burned brown. Let's see. Oh yeah, very dark, charcoaly kind of colour, but definitely with brown. You can see quite dispersing of colour there. Okay, now we have ivory black, which looks like black. Very nice, very inky. It definitely becomes charcoaly when we wash it out. Okay, and finally coal black, which to my eye looks like it has a blue tinge, but it may not. That may just be how it looks in the pan. Yeah, that just looks like very dark black to me. Let's see how it looks when we swoosh it. Yeah, definitely just black, black. Yeah, that's nice, very nice. And it's looking incredibly saturated. I'll just pull out some of that colour. And that's that. That's the Paul Rubens colours. So I'll let that dry, but I'm going to move straight in to the next part, and that is the acrylics, which I'm very excited about. I've never played with these before. So I'll just move the book to that side because I need to pull in a little paint palette and our paints. So these are the Atelier Interactive acrylics. So I'm going to just put a little bit onto here and then we'll swatch them as well. Actually, I might leave the black and magenta till last. I might just do the white first. So let's see. Yeah, they have a little silver foil underneath the cap. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit in each well, and I might just do a couple of colours to start with. I'll go from the top of the palette to the bottom, so I'll start with the yellow. Now these are the pastel colours, remember, they're not like primary colours, they are pre-mixed pastels. You know me, pastels really speak to me, so I'm very keen to try these. And like I said, I've not really worked with acrylics at all. I did that one spread, and that's it. So I'm going to use the same brush. I've got some new brushes coming. Oh, hang on, what about that brush? Okay, actually I'll use this thicker brush instead. Okay, so I guess we're probably not going to see much of the white, but I will just put some white on here because it is a different white to the notebook. Hopefully you can see that there, and I will bring it up closer to the camera at the end. Okay, so we go into our pastel yellow. Oh, just beautiful. I'll write the names here or here, I'm not sure yet, at some point. So these really give you that thickness. Okay, I'll spread out with a little bit less on that side, I think, just to do a similar thing to the other side where we're just layering a little less paint. Okay, this next one's called Pastel Coral. It's definitely a nice pinky peach colour. Beautiful. So these are super opaque. Oh, love it. And then I have here just Pastel Pink, which has that lilac-y colour that I like so much. There is lilac coming up, of course, as well. I had a bit of excess water on this brush, so it is a bit thinner and moving much more freely than the others. I think that's why I've got such a thick amount of colour on there. Okay, let's squeeze out some more colours here. This is the lilac. I feel like the pink and the lilac are probably going to be my favourites, but these all look beautiful, these pastels. Okay, so this next one up, like I said, it's called Pastel Lilac, which is, oh, beautiful, very soft lilac colour. That's gorgeous. And this next one is called Pastel Mint, Mist, and it looks like it's grey, like a purpley grey. Oh yeah, it's definitely grey. It is beautiful, such a gorgeous colour. These are all such pretty colours. A little bit of washout there. Okay, and then we have Arctic Blue, Pastel Arctic Blue, which is definitely blue. And it looks like I opened aquamarine but didn't squeeze any out. This last one is aquamarine. So it looks like a bluey green colour, which would make sense. Like a mint almost. Yeah, gorgeous. Okay, then I have two more colours which were outside of the set. So the white was outside the set, as well as this black. It's called Carbon Black, and I like the idea of using black to just put some, you know, accents in, some contrast points, I guess. And then I also got the Brilliant Magenta for obvious reasons, but also just to act as a bright contrast against the pastels. Okay, let's grab a bit of that as well. I'm loving the look of this palette, very cool. Alright, I'll go the pink first. Brilliant Magenta. Yeah, very nice kind of saturated colour. I mean, they're all completely opaque colours, they're just great. And there's a bit of lighter there with a bit less pressure on the brush. And then lastly we'll do the black. I'll just do the black on this side. So you can see that's a very dark, heavy black. If I just give us a little brush stroke of it out to the side there. Alright, I'm going to show you a close-up of these while those watercolours are still drying. So here we have the, is it called something white? Titanium white? Yes, it's called Titanium White. Then we have Pastel Lemon, Pastel Coral, Pastel Pink, Pastel Lilac, Pastel Mist, Pastel Arctic Blue, Pastel Aquamarine. Then we have Brilliant Magenta and Carbon Black. And I have to say I'm excited about those. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is just write in the names of those colours. So if I didn't say earlier, it just says on the tube here that it's a heavy-bodied acrylic. Atelier Interactive is the only acrylic that can be adjusted and blended longer than conventional acrylics. The colours are intense with a plastic look and feel. So I'm not quite sure what adjusted and blended longer than conventional acrylics means. Perhaps we'll find that out as time goes on. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how they look. They're very nice colours. I think we can achieve a really nice look with those here in the art journal. So very excited to do that. In the meantime, my watercolours are still drying here, so we can't quite move on yet. This one's quite wet. These last three in particular are quite wet, and Maple Yellow there is as well. So I'm going to just leave these to dry. I'll go ahead and do something else for the moment, and then I'll come back and we'll see how they look. See you soon. Okay, here we go. I'm going to pop this back in here because it's just so beautiful. I can't stop looking at it. It's so gorgeous. So everything's nice and dry now, so I just thought I would show you. By the way, has anyone ever painted their LT 1917 cover? I'm just thinking I'd love to paint it a nice colour for in here. Alright, let's have a look at the final breakdown of colours. So here on the left page we've got our pastels, our acrylic paints in the pastels, and then the magenta and the carbon black. I'll just show you up close. They have a kind of a matte finish. I was thinking they would be glossy. It's maybe a little bit of both in a way. Anyway, it's a very interesting finish is what I'm trying to say. And the colours are beautiful. I'm loving this lilac, you know, pink, lilac, mist. Those three colours are just divine. And of course the magenta is fabulous. I love how dark this black is. And then we move into our Paul Rubens, the 48 pan colour set. So these are the black, browns starting to go into the greens. And then yellows, oranges, pinks, blues and greens here. I went across the page and then over. So it's a bit backwards, but that's okay, I don't mind. Look, these colours are beautiful. They're showing up very nicely on this paper. I didn't wet the paper first, so you can probably see there's a there's warping of the paper, you can see there, and you can feel the warping across the page for sure. Maybe you can see it there too. But that's totally fine, I have no issue with that. The paper's nice and thick, I think you can handle it perfectly well. I'm loving these washes of colour and the way this paint moved really beautifully when we were washing it out. It's just gorgeous, absolutely love it. And then this page is just stunning, right? We have the Paul Rubens Pearlescent colours here, and I'll show you those up close in a sec, and our Coliro Pearl colours here. And then the Prima Marketing vintage pastels that came with this art set. So let's have a look at the shine on these. Beautiful, shiny goodness, absolutely gorgeous. And then a shine there on those bottom ones as well, just stunning. And then these vintage pastels, not shiny, they are just beautiful. I absolutely love those colours. They've come out really nicely. It's a beautiful, beautiful set. Just gorgeous. I can feel a bit of texture in these in particular. Maybe that's just whether it's been put on quite thickly. These don't have any, and they don't have any texture, and these don't have any texture. It's Periwinkle doesn't, and Terracotta doesn't. Apple Blossom, oh no, sorry, Periwinkle, Terracotta, Breezy, and Dusky Mauve don't have texture, but all the others do. I don't know whether that's granulating in the paint or not. I'm not sure what that means. But anyway, regardless, the colours are just stunning. So that's my set. The art journal and travel kit, all from Helen McLean here in Melbourne. I'm just going to put everything back in that came with the set because I just kind of want to show you again how it looks. So we have our water brushes here, and then our Pigma Micron, our gel pen, our white gel pen, and our HB pencil. And then on this side was that vintage pastel set, and I also swatched them on the swatch card. I love the swatch card, it's really lovely. And there's those gorgeous paints. Look at them, they're just stunning. They're really lovely paints. And what also came on this side was the little kneadable eraser that I haven't taken out of the packet yet, and these two water brush parts that go, I think must go inside the brush. I'll put them in here for now, but they're not going to live in here. In fact, the paint won't live in here on the day-to-day either, right? It's just, if I take this out with me, all of those things will come with me as well. But again, just a stunning set from Helen. I absolutely, in case you couldn't tell, absolutely adore it. I love the vintage vibe, and I love the leather cover. It was a bit of a decision-making process. There was a beautiful green, I think I've talked about this already, of course black and brown, but I couldn't go past the red. It's showing up on camera quite a bit brighter red than it is in real life. It's very much a burgundy colour in real life. My little split from where I cut it with the knife starts there and goes to there. It's about that long. So I don't know if we can really pick that up on camera. But I don't think it's really going to affect... I spoke to Helen and she said that the leather is very forgiving. So I'm just trying to polish that out every so often. I'm only being very gentle with it with just a wet washcloth at this point, which is probably not doing much. I feel like it is, but maybe it isn't. If you have any tips, please tell me. Keen to know. But again, also just keen to see how this leather ages over time. I feel like I'm going to have this for the rest of my life. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful piece. I absolutely adore it. I might, in a future video, just try setting it up for a work planner and see how that looks. I'm quite interested to see how that would look. But I'm kind of very happy with the art journal process and idea right now. So probably the next video I do will be with that book, doing an art journal spread. And I'm thinking I'm going to repeat the one that I did in my Hobonichi, but with these new pastel acrylics, because I haven't really used acrylics before and I want to introduce some watercolor. And one more thing, I also picked up this water-soluble graphite pencil from Lyra, and I wanted to try this out. It's a water-soluble graphite pastel. So keen. Why don't we have a go at it right now? I didn't even think of that. It was hidden away on the other side of the room. So, what will I do with it? So there's just a little bit there. Let's grab, I've got another water brush here. I might just wet it and see what happens, which means I can't close the book up. Oh, look at that. It's beautiful. So my kind of plan for it is to just use it once I've already painted the background. I kind of want it just to use it to have some contrast in the background. Now I might use paint, the acrylic paint, to do that, but it's nice to have, you know, the control that you have holding a pencil rather than holding a paintbrush. So super keen to try that out in real life as well. So as I said, stay tuned. I'm trying to do the journaling or planning videos on a Sunday, but depending on how many I have, I may switch those to a different day as well. So maybe stay tuned to the community tab on my YouTube channel, and in there I'll explain what's coming up when. I'll try and do a little breakdown of what days are what. I'm not sure if I'll know that straight away, but once I do, I'll put it in there so that we have a bit of consistency. Okay guys, that's it from me. That's the gorgeous art set and all the swatches of all the paints that I have now. Let me know what you think. As I said, I'm keen to hear from you, and whether you're interested in seeing this process from me as I continue on filling out this book. I can't wait. I can't wait to do it. I'm not really keen today, I have to say. I've been up since 4 in the morning, just not able to sleep, so I'm going to have a lazy day today. I'm just going to play with some supplies and just sort of sort things out a little bit, and maybe get into the actual process tomorrow. So yeah, let's see what happens. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, like I said, let me know what you think. I'm keen to talk to you in the comments. Alright, I'll see you all again super soon. Bye!